I am one of the co-founders and chief operating officer for the Stafford Boxing Club Incorporated, our nonprofit organization, which is a yearly mentoring program for at-risk youth in the community.
So we will be able to teach financial literacy, communication, discipline, decision making, as well as campaigning for a premium education.
These are the foundation for the Stafford Boxing Club, these 20 mentees in our program here at Panola Way Elementary School. 20 years from now, Stafford Boxing mentees will be known across the world.
Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I wanna know your name.
Damn, baby, you got skills like that?
I do.
Oh, man.
So what's going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody?
Yes, Lord, we back in the seats. Know what I'm talking about, man?
For real. Everybody, let's do the introduction. I'm Lady Stafford, the host of the Stafford Show. Everybody already knows who this good-looking, fine gentleman is.
Oh, man.
He's mine.
Hey, man, I'm Big Stafford, man. You know what I'm saying? The co-host of the Stafford Show, presented by Talking Fight.
Facts.
And to be clear, Talking Fight is in Canada, so the Stafford Show is worldwide. We global, know what I'm saying?
Worldwide,
For
all
real.
around the world.
And yeah, and that's no Captain Crunch.
Okay, now it's Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
It's no longer cappuccino.
Nah. Wait. Nah. Sometimes we do cappuccino, and then sometimes we do Captain Crunch.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
It's no problem with me. So check this out, everybody. We have a special guest today.
For real.
And we've known him for a while. I remember the first time when we actually saw Dr. Duwon Robinson. He is, let's just say he's a community activist, but let's just say he is an activist. But there's so much more to Dr. Duwon Robinson. So everybody, please give a standing round of ovation. Introducing Dr. Duwon Robinson. Hey.
Hey, what going on, my boy?
Good afternoon, and thank y'all for having me. I'm like your wife, man. I was like, what happened to the no cappuccino? That's your favorite word, no cappuccino.
Yes, sir. Duwon. Excuse me, my bad. I came out the house with my glass slippers on, so let me go ahead and put my gaiters on. My bad.
And they cracked big time.
For real, bro. This ain't no Cinderella either. But anyway, man, Dr. Duwon Robinson, man, we are so grateful and honored to have you bless the Stafford Show. Sheila and I, we've been knowing you ever since we got married. That was close to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, because when we moved over to was it the Hills of Stone? No, the Hills of Oak. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but anyway,
it was somewhere.
Yeah. So
yeah,
anyway,
we met in 2009. We met in 2009.
2009.
Yeah, so that was like a year after.
Oh yeah,
it was a year because of
It was,
yes.
It was, bro. It was.
I met y'all at the Auburn Avenue Library downtown.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah, with my boy Daryl Moore. Shout out to Daryl Moore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you see Duwon, you're gonna see Daryl. Them boys are just, you know what I'm saying, peanut butter and jelly, no cappuccino. For real.
Yes.
But man, before we move forward in the show, man, I just wanna, share, give someone their flowers, and that's Daryl Moore. When I first met this brother, man, he had the dreads. He was in the process, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but he was just trying to find himself during that moment. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I remember you and him were having very significant conversation with Kasim Reed at the time, who was running for mayor for the city of Atlanta. And you guys were able to come to an understanding. And I believe you was running for something, or I can't remember what it was, but you it was like at first y'all was bumping heads, but then y'all end up, just coming together.
I was on the mayor platform with them. I was running, but I wasn't running. I was running to get next to him. I was told at the time that, hey man, this guy in third place, it don't look like he's gonna win, but he's gonna win. An old civil rights guy told me to get next to him. So I already knew that I was gonna withdraw my name when it was time to qualify. So during the debates, I knew that his name was Reed and I was Robinson. I would be able to sit next to him and to talk to him kind of like off the record. You know what I'm saying? Let him know like, hey man, I've been told to help you out. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need all the street help you can get. I don't want no money, but when you win, when I need you, I'm gonna call you. Those were the conversations. Every debate we had, those were the conversations. So, every chance I get, every chance that I got, I was able to jab him. Since y'all got the boxing, I was able to jab him because I was anticipating him throwing a counter punch. So even though my jab probably got under his skin, it allowed him to throw a counter punch to make him look good. So that's what I was doing to him.
Yeah, and man, I must say, like, uh, because of that relationship and because of that movement that you had in place to execute what you did, you opened the door for Daryl. And I mean, yeah, so Daryl been at Atlanta City Hall for a minute now. He ended up getting his master's degree. The boy then got married. So man, I wanted to give, his flowers because man, I've been following him, man. And it's like when we all get together, we just blend. It's just like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, so I'm just so happy to see Daryl go to that next level and be a pillar in the community because we definitely need those type of people in those type of places, particularly in Atlanta.
Hey man, you're right, man. He has come a long way from 2009, man. He has come a long way. When I went to Cassim, and Cassim held his word. When I told him that I was, tired of having one foot in, one foot out, he gave me a job in 2013. And Daryl, immediately I brought Daryl in. And Daryl been with the city, for 10 years now.
For real, for real. But listen, man, if you would be so kind and just give people a background and a proper introduction about Dr. Duwon Robinson, his upbringing, where he's from, and how he had an opportunity to, connect with the Staffords.
Man, I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a Grady baby. I'm born in Grady Hospital. I grew up in Bowen Homes Project on Bankhead. My grandparents raised me. My mother, she wanted to be in them streets and hang out and hang with guys that were selling drugs. And my grandmother and grandfather knew that wasn't the lifestyle they wanted for me. And, she was 21 when she had me, had never hung out, never partied. And it was like some clicked on her when she had the baby. She just wanted to be free. And my grandparents were like, you can be free, but he going to stay with us. And, man, the upbringing was just the foundation, man. When I turned about 6 years old, my grandmother would make me come in the house every day to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. That was my routine, man, and, you're in the projects, your friends laughing at you because you got to go in the house early. But, man, there was just rules and they were educated because they was born in 1914, man. So they was all about education and God. So I would have to read the Bible repeatedly to my grandmother because she pretended that she couldn't read. So she would have me reading the Bible verse and be like, read it again. I'm like, Grandma, come on, man. I'm tired of reading the same old verse. And she was there, man, preparing me. And I didn't know it, man. I was only 6. By the time I turned 7, man, if I knew that there was a place, a person, or a thing on that Wheel of Fortune board, man, I was solving puzzles with just 2-3 letters on the thing. I was solving them. So she was creating that in me, man. I didn't know it. And then when I turned 8, man, they got me and was like, hey, we're going to give away all your old clothes and your favorite pair of shoes you like. We're going to give them away because we can afford to buy you more. But the next person, they're going to love your favorite pair of shoes. They're going to love the clothes that we bought you. So they instilled that in me, man, since I was 8, man. Like I had to give back every year my favorite stuff. I had to pack it up and give it away. know what I'm saying? I knew I was getting something else, but it just became who I am, man. And I know what I'm saying, every year I still do it. Now I do it twice a year. Every time the season change, when it's time for me to pack up my winter and summer, I give it away, man. I get joy out of that. And then when the opportunity came, man, for me to get my doctorate in humanitarian, man, it was easy because it's who I am. It just amazing how God lined things up, man. It just who I am. And part of that journey was, like you said, when I met you guys in 2009, I was coming out of another door God has closed on me for being a sports agent. He was bringing me into the political realm. And when I met this guy that was dead last in the race, had no shot in winning in the eyes of the voters and the money people that was donating money, he didn't have a shot to win. And I obeyed the spirit, and the older guy say, trust me, he's gonna win. And being from the projects, and that's my upbringing, I'm always gonna root for the underdog. I'm not an opportunist. I don't look for things for money. I work for him for free, not knowing that I was gonna ever call him back for a job. I just did it. Just like, hey man, if I ever need you, man, just keep your word. You know what I'm saying? I never knew, because I always thought that I would just, be this way, man. But God brought me to him, and the man asked me, man, where you want to go? I'll send you anywhere you want to go. And I didn't know. And he was just like, well, since you like helping people, I'm going to send you to the workforce development, man. I'm going to put you in charge of giving people jobs. And he put like $5 million in this pot where if we get people a job, because I was explaining to him how you're taking people from the streets and you get them a job, and when they see that first paycheck, they got to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it can discourage some of them because they coming from a different place in the world. So he put $5 million of the city budget in his pot where if we got you a job at the workforce, we'll pay your rent, your bills, your mortgage, whatever it was, we will pay that that first month you work. So your whole month paycheck is free. You can save that, you can spend it however you want to, but your bills and your rent will be paid that first month if you got a job through us. So can y'all imagine me being from the real inner city, when people found out that I had that program going and I was in charge, man, they was lining up trying to get mama a job, auntie, grandmama. And man, I didn't miss a day of work for 3 years. I wasn't late because I had done figured out that my coworkers wasn't gonna work as hard as I did because I came from that environment. So I cared about those people, and they was just there because somebody helped them got a job. But it gave me fulfillment, and I knew that I was late one day. This is why I wasn't late. I was late one day. Line wrapped around the corner around where my office was because they was pretending that so they were busy, but they didn't want to help the people because it was so much. There was so many documents you had to have, to get city, because the money was coming from the feds. And a lot of people probably didn't have the ID of the or a lease or something, and I would put it in and be like, hey man, bring it back now. If you don't bring it back for the money, we ain't gonna pay. It's the way you talk to people, and they would just, oh, you ain't got this. It could be 5 documents that they requested. If you didn't have one, they would turn the people away. I'm like, hey man, you can't do these people like that. If they missing one document, you put them in the system and you trust them to bring it back. Like, they got to work on the trust because they're not used to trusting the police and the government because, they ain't showed us why we should trust them. And they got one of their own in here. Hey man, these folks getting up early coming down here, y'all don't turn nobody away. So I had to get gangster with everybody down there. Like, man, y'all don't turn nobody away to come down here. And then, man, it just spread throughout the city, man. And it was just like, man, it was just life, man. It gave me life knowing that I'm getting up every day to help somebody. It just gave me life, man. So everything that God have brought my way, man, it just been what my grandmother and grandfather and mother prepared me for. And it just became who I am by God, because I never had to remember my grandmother's teaching, my mother teaching my grandfather. It's just who I am. What they gave me, I knew what was right and what was wrong and how to live this life. It's about respect and there's different things. It just became who I am, man. So me receiving my doctorate, man, I got excited that day, but leading up to it, I wasn't excited. Even after, it's hard for me to just say Dr. Robinson and different things because humanitarian, that's who I am, man. I was just born to do it, and God just have allowed, like you always say, the favor for them to reach out to me internationally, man, and put me in the doctorate program. They reached out to me, and it was just, and they just followed my journey over the years, man, and it just been a blessing, man. It's
So
been a
what
blessing.
high school did you attend?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I went to Ralph Bunch Middle School because my mother wanted, like I say, education. They sent me from Bankhead to Campbellton Road to Bunch for education. And then they was like, you can come back with your friends and go to D. Frederick Douglass in Atlanta, what we call it Doug, 225 High Tower. You know what I'm saying?
And then what college did you attend?
I went to Morgan State University, man. I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. I studied political science and pre-law. Instead of going to law school, man, I became a sports agent. A good friend of mine, Jamal Lewis, who also went to Frederick Douglass and attended the University of Tennessee, got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. Since I was already an undergrad, he didn't have a friend up there. He asked me to come live with him my junior year, and I got so enamored by the sports agent and the numbers and the money and the life that, man, I forgot about law school. I put it in the rear, and I went head straight in the sports agent world, man, and not knowing that law was my passion, and I went on to become a sports agent after I graduated, and that ended, and that's how I got into politics, and that's how I met you guys. That was my first debate, my first event, 2009 is when
Oh, so when you met us, that was your first one?
hey man, that was my first introduction.
Wow.
That was my first introduction when I met you guys, and we've been in touch for all these years, man. And it's been a blessing to even watch you and your wife because y'all display what unity and teamwork is. So, like I always tell you, I admire it, man, because out here as a single man, I know how hard it is to find that what y'all have, and what I'm saying, despite whatever trials and tribulation, y'all still together in 2023. So I love the unity and the teamwork because marriage is a business, is love, is all of that. It's a teamwork, and I think we miss steps in our culture when we dating, and we fail to form the teamwork and the unity when we meet the opposite sex, man. And so I just love to see that with you guys. I love love, man. I don't play with it. I respect it, and when I see it, man, I love it, man. I respect it and just love it.
Man,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Duwon, I want to say this here, and I want, the people who's watching and who will be watching to understand when I say that the one is a man that has the heart for the people, he has that. I've seen him, I've watched him. And me and Sheila, we were very peculiar of who we would want to interview and bring on our platform. And when I see the one fighting for the undeserved people in our community, particularly my minds bring me back to when I think the city of Atlanta had some money that the federal government gave to help the homeless people. And for whatever reason, they didn't use the money. And so the city of Atlanta had to send the money back to the government, and it wasn't too many people having a voice to try to reverse that money to come back to the city of Atlanta so that it can address the homeless issue that we see in our community. Atlanta has one of the most turbulent homeless issues that I've seen around the nation. And we have too many people in too many powerful positions not to address that, because now I see the homeless people around downtown, under the bridges, highways. Those are dangerous places for people to live, because at any particular moment, one of those cars can just get off track and derail off the highway and injured. But it just sad that we see that in our community when Atlanta has so much money, Atlanta has so much opportunities. Yes, there's systems in place to prevent people from excelling, but with all the money that's coming to Atlanta and people moving all over the country to Atlanta, we just have too much resources to see the homeless issue that we have. And when I saw you on TV campaigning, fighting, but this is nothing new for you. And I even had that conversation with you maybe about, I think about 4 or 5 months. I called you, I say, bruh, this is your calling, bruh, because you have that gift of gab and you call and you anointed and you passionate to be able to speak to these people. And bro, you from the hood, bruh. You Grady baby, shawty. Like you from you from Doug, the West Side, all that other type stuff. So people know you in the community and they know what you stand for, man. So man, I just want to say thank you so much, bruh, for just sticking to your calling and not only sticking to it, but just embracing it. A lot of times people are intimidated by their calling, but you, man, you have what it takes to be one of the leaders that we will talk about long after you're gone because of your commitment to the community, bro. So, man, real talk, square business, and that is no cappuccino. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
He's using cappuccino now.
Yeah,
He's switching it up.
I'm switching it up. I'm switching gears. But man, people need to know, bro, that you are a civil rights icon, bro, in my humble opinion, bro. Because every generation has their group of people who they can relate to. And so, God bless his soul, Congressman John Lewis, he didn't went home. Vivian, he didn't went home. It's a lot of great icons that you had an opportunity to talk with and meet. And now I believe that they instill those qualities and that vision from the past so that you can carry on the marathon for real.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I appreciate that, brother. Seriously, I do appreciate that, man. But I'm gonna tell you what the difference is now, man, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not gonna say it's not harder. It's more stressful because back when Martin Luther was coming up, Malcolm, Hero P. Newton, all those guys that I look forward to, Marcus Garvey, all those guys. You mentioned C.T. Vivian, John Lewis, all the civil rights guys. They were fighting against the white oppressors. They knew what they were going to get. They knew that if we went there, you know what I'm saying, they're going to put water hose on us, put the dogs on us. We could be killed, beaten bad, going to jail. That took a lot of courage, man. And you knew what you were fighting against. And God bless people like the late Aretha Franklin, Harry Belafonte, that were using their entertainment gifts and the money they received to bail all those people out. The Black Panther, the civil rights guys, you know what I'm saying? Those people were performing and bailing these people out. But I'm gonna tell you what the difference is today, bro. And the reason why I thank God so much, because it's a different stress, it's a different strain, and to me, it's a harder fight today, only because we fighting against black folks to do right by black folks, bro. I don't think people understand how hard that is. Listen, bro, you fighting against in a city where we done had a black mayor and majority black city council, black police chief, black fire chief, black everything. We are fighting homelessness, jobs, and everything against black folks who from Atlanta. I don't think people know how hard that is, man. And the reason why I say it's hard, because even though God is my foundation, y'all, I still believe in the Malcolm X philosophy. I believe in the Godfather philosophy. Like sometimes you got to cut the head off that deer and sit in the bed and let them folk know you mean business. I'm just saying, I ain't all the way there yet. Sometimes you feeling like you got to show these fools. And that's the hard part, is that you know that the God within you, that the vengeance is his. You ain't gonna get nowhere by trying to shake somebody up and make them do right. So they're sitting down there speaking and gathering the people, man. How long have we been doing that, man?
Too long, bro.
It has yielded some positive results, and it do. But bro, when I go to bed at night and when I see these people around the city that are in charge, and I see them up there making the wrong votes against the people and doing this, that, and the third. Hey, bro, that take a lot of stress, knowing that I can make a phone call you know what I'm saying, to do X, Y, Z. But to not make that phone call and to continue to get up and fight the right way and to be professional and respectful towards people that are showing the people in the streets who mean nothing so much disrespect. They disrespecting the city, the culture,
Everything.
and these are black folks, man. Like that's hard, man. That's hard, man, for me to stay in good character and not be the fool and go left. Man, that's hard. And I'm fighting against these folks every day for our people. Man,
Straight
that's a
Uncle
hard
Tom,
fight.
bruh.
That's a hard fight, bro. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And because I don't have that better half that you have, man, I come home and talk to God so much and cry tears at home. That's why my home is my sanctuary, because I come home and I have to cry to get it out. You know, I have to cry and get it out, and the next day I'll be refilled and ready to go. But I have to come home, man, and really cry. That's why you see me a lot of times. I come home and cook. I come home, I sit down, man, I listen to my music, and that's how you know what I'm saying. You know, I listen to my music, man. I cook a lot, man. I sit here and eat, and I just cry, man, because it's like, man, God, wow, like I understand that I'm choking, like you say, I embrace it now. I know I can't be Jonah. I can't run.
Can't.
Got too many whales out here to swallow me up with. I can't run. So I embrace it, even though I be like, man, like, why you got me caring so much and fighting against my brothers and sisters who don't care about our people? That's hard, bro. Hey, bro, that's hard, bro. But it goes back to God says, I ain't saying he doing this, but when he told Moses, I'm going to harden Pharaoh hard, he not going to let the people go. So when you read that and understand God's word, you can't get mad at Pharaoh. God said, I'm going to harden his heart. I ain't going to let him go. So the issue is always with God. That's why God say, oh, reason with me. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do what I want to do. My thoughts and my ways are his. So whatever he doing, hey, we can't question it. God is God. He do what he do. But I still be like, God, man, how we got these young folks? Like, we got Andre. He's 2 years older than I am. Born and raised in Atlanta, West Side, Collier Heights. Went to Benjamin E. Mays. And we got to fight and argue with a black mayor who from here, who young, to help our black women and our black men and our black teens. Woo! Man, do y'all understand how mad I really be, man? I have to get up there and smile and keep it respectful and keep it norms, keep it in proper context with him. Cause me being combative with him and calling him out, I just turned 46. I know that ain't gonna help. So I have to sit there and keep talking to him, be like, hey, bro, hey, man, we got to do something. Like every time there's a killing and I either know the mother, the father, the uncle, somebody, I'd be like, hey, man, what we going to do? Hey, man, let's try this. Like, we can't keep going this direction. We got to try this. This ain't going to hurt you, but let's try this. Like, so it just be so hard, man, it just be hard, bro. I ain't going to tell you a lot, bro. It's hard, bro. And I be so ungrateful because it's so hard. I'm even more grateful that God chose me to do it. So I'm just expressing my frustration with y'all.
Nah, bro.
I'm grateful that God chose me to do it because it's such a hard battle. And for you to choose me for this hard ass battle, hey, man, I'm just your humble servant. Like I say, man, I play whatever tune he tell me to play. I play it. I don't say nothing to him. I still come back to him later like, hey, God, that was a hard note you had me to play, man. You know I can't sing. You had me up there singing this high tune. But I'm going to do it, man. But I be like, God, man, why, man? Like, man, it's a hard fight, y'all. It's a hard fight.
No.
But let me say one thing. Now I get what you're saying about having to fight with those that are in a position, right?
That look like us.
That look like us. At the same time, the people in the community really need to be doing something too. Because check this out. In certain communities, people say, the black people will say, oh, we don't have jobs, we don't have this. Okay, well, there are some jobs that come there, but look how you treat that job, that place of employment. Either you're breaking in or you're consistently stealing. And then you have people now, especially after the COVID, they apply for the job, they don't want to work. They're half doing it, or they call off and they're not being responsible. And that's what they signed up for. That's the application they filled out. That's the interview that they went through. Okay. Another thing, All right, so people in the community can talk about this and talk about that, fight each other. I get it, sell drugs, and just be so disrespectful to each other and be watching these shows, which is just crazy. They choose to be followers. They don't want to be leaders. It's almost like the people in the black people in the community, they don't want any better. They can't even keep their community clean. Like I've seen it. Like there'll be a garbage can. I'm not saying that other ethnics don't do it, but because we're around our people more, I see certain things. It's like they don't want to change. They don't want to be held accountable because who would put a, do you think, let's be real, do you think that someone would put a 500 fortune company like off of Wesley Chapel Drive or in certain places downtown? No, because they're going to destroy it.
Right.
So we need to start taking accountability and changing, but for somewhat odd reason, I don't know, they won't.
Yeah, can I piggyback
Yeah,
off
go
that?
ahead.
So here's the other thing that I see that as a race in the community that we have, and that is like she was talking about keeping the community clean. I don't understand how people be driving down the street, the one, and then they just throw trash out the window, right? And then you expect people, like she said, to come into the community and put their investment because most of the time when people come into a community and they build a business, they borrow that money from a bank. So there's an obligation and responsibility to repay that loan. So then people will always do what's in the best interest of the bottom line. The bottom line is, am I going to get an ROI, return on investment? The
Mm.
other thing is that our community is so focused on how can I say it?
They're focused on materialistic
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
being a bad bee,
yeah.
or I'm sexy this.
All
Oh, it
this.
takes so much work just to be a bad bee and sexy. Well, take some of that hard work into your family, into your kids, into yourself. You know what? These black women, and I'm venting too. Check this out.
She vented too, so I'm
Check
just
this out. Our black women, we are lost. Okay, let me tell you. Let me give you an example of how lost we are. I do watch clips, and I don't watch the show, but I watch the clips. It's called the Baddies or Baddies West Coast, right? So these females are coming into a reality show, being getting pimped by black women that are on the panel who they are going to pick and choose who's actually going to be on the show. They will have them fighting, cursing, had them doing push-ups and sit-ups just to be on the show. Black women can be very selfish. It's all about me. If you don't have a car, if you don't have a money, if you don't have a place to stay, if you don't have a 401k or insurance, I can't get with you because it's a total waste of time. But yet you don't have anything. You don't even, you have absolutely nothing. And the way that the black women think and how disrespectful we are towards ourselves with each other and then the men, we don't even uplift each other because we're always trying to compete with somebody. We don't lift up the black man because of the generation that started all the way with slavery. Black women don't want to change. It's all about them. And then they're raising their children. Check this out. They're raising their little girls to be just like them. Raising hoes and prostitutes. Let's just keep it real because I'm not going to sleep with you unless you give me some money. And then you got these kids on the social media dancing to these grown songs. Shake it. I'm throwing money. We in the club. Ride that pole. She does it like this, and this is how I'm going to do it because I can take all this. No, you can't. Take reading a book. Take getting into God's word. We in the black community, we always want to say something, well, uh the religion and God and these people and they were slave owners and all that. We all know about that. But it's like the black community doesn't even say anything about God. Nobody wants to do the right thing. Everybody just wants to do the wrong thing because doing wrong is easier.
You get more likes. You get more
We
followers.
need to shape up. And I can't even imagine the what's on your shoulders, because you're having to deal with the people in the community that you're trying to help, and then you're trying to talk with the people that are actually in power that's black, but they're selling out because
Straight Uncle Tom. Straight
the
Uncle
only
Tom.
best interest that they have is for themselves and their family. So the community
They
needs to
forgot.
start getting together and stop voting for these people and start doing research on these doggone people, because you can take your behind to the club. You can take your behind to go sleep with somebody. You can take your time to be on the social media and do things that's not even going to do anything for you, your family, or generations that's going to come after us. Because some of us are being bad examples to this generation and the other generation. None of these women, nobody of these, so many black people don't want to stand up for what is right. We just want to sit back and just get money. We don't want to get off of these assistants because it's too easy for me. I just want to sit back and get paid and get lazy. I don't want to teach my kids anything. They don't need to have an education. I don't need to have an education. So don't sit here and tell me and complain that you don't have this and you don't have that when you don't want to do anything about the problem or even correct the problem because you're too busy doing BS stuff. And I don't want to hear it anymore. Y'all women so nasty. Y'all got some very nasty attitudes. And I had to work on myself. So and I'm coming to you all like this because I don't have to put a cap on it. Y'all don't put a cap on when y'all be disrespecting somebody and disrespecting the elders. I ain't putting a cap on nothing.
Miss Stafford, you hit the nail on the coffin. It is a two-way street, and it's just as stressful dealing with our community, because I have to tell them the same thing. Now, we want them to do this. Now, y'all got to clean up and do X, Y, Z. Now, you got to, I'm saying, be responsible for your kids. If I'm down here fighting, I'm saying, about this, and y'all just letting your son do whatever they want to do, the moment he bring that gun home and he doing something, at the moment you done sign his life away or his freedom away, because only two things gonna happen. We heard it when we was kids, and that's the show enough truth. So it is, man, fighting our community and fighting downtown, man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And that's why I say these times are such harder times, because back then, the Black Panther didn't have to fight the community as a whole because they was pretty much squared away. Everybody pretty much on the same page. Martin King didn't have to fight the community on certain things because everybody pretty much on the same page.
Not today.
Man, we so divided with, hey, man, whew, man.
And you know what, man? So we were talking about the hardening of Pharaoh's heart. So now the Supreme Court then demolished the affirmative action things for those trying to get into these prestigious colleges. And so I look at you who went to a HBCU, and now that it's been so many African American to get through that affirmative action loop within the system to get that premium Ivy League education, it's over with now. So now it's an opportunity for the HBCUs to kind of, build up its momentum. And we looking at a byproduct, you, Dr. Duwon Robinson, of an HBCU. Now, let me be clear. I love Georgia State, man. You already know, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I went to TSU for a little bit, Texas Southern University, but I love Georgia State, man. And Georgia State has become predominantly African American, and even though it still have the overseer of the Board of Regents for the University Georgia system, I get that we have a black president, and so that's a start. However, I think that with the affirmative action coming into play, bro, it's going to be a lot of change. A lot of people who were able to get through that loophole, that timing up. So we're going to have to really come together as a community because things are definitely changing. And so it could be a blessing in disguise, because I believe, like, with so much division this would cause us to kind of come back and address the issue like you alluded to.
It always a blessing in disguise, man, because like you say, Georgia State. I love Georgia State. I love how they done put the money in the community and they done upgraded Georgia State like none other.
Yeah.
And charging way less than Morehouse and Spelman that are voted like the top two HBCUs every year. They sit like right in the top 5. But man, most black universities like Morehouse and Spelman ain't nothing but pimps, man. Ain't nothing but pimps, man. They haven't upgraded that college and them dorms. All of the King was there.
It's terrible, man.
$50,000 a year, and you ain't getting the kids nothing except for if you're in Atlanta and probably some other black cities, if they see Morehouse and Spelman application, you're gonna get a job. But it should be more than that, man. Like they ain't nothing but pimps. Morehouse and Spelman should have owned all of Atlanta by now. They ain't bought up nothing. Georgia State came in, bought up everything downtown and around. They spared no expense. Whatever it is, hey man, we're gonna buy it. Morehouse and Spelman ain't bought nothing. All that land around the AU Center, let everybody else buy it up. They should have been buying that land, having student housing, having the programs, everything that you need in Atlanta. Morehouse and Spelman should have owned it. Georgia State should have been buying land from Morehouse and Spelman because they had too big of a head start. You had a way bigger head start. They've been charging people way more. And now Georgia State have become the university in Atlanta.
Straight up.
But remember, HBCUs all over the world, man. Let me tell you something. Man, they are pimps. Look how they did Deion Sanders at Jackson State.
For real.
And I'm going to say this. Jackson State brought in, and this is what they reported. This ain't what Prime said. This is what they reported. He didn't want to say it because he didn't want to blast Black University. Man, they brought in $180 million in 3 years of everything they were doing. We talking about hotel, flights, every game was sold out. Y'all couldn't get this man the money he was asking to stay, but y'all made $180 million in 3 years, but you couldn't get a man the money that he wanted. That's the plight of black college, man. They just like most black preachers, man. Pimps, man. Pimp the culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's what they do to our culture, man.
Hey, man. Hey, man, look.
I agree with you on that one.
Hey, man, look, bruh. Real talk. And that's just square business, man.
Self-interest.
It's always an issue that I see with the HBCUs, with the black leaderships that's controlling the money. You see on TV that the kids having problems getting their refund checks. The housings is barbaric. It's nowhere in the world that these HBCUs should be living that way. You see what I'm saying? And you right, bro. Morehouse, man, that college is trash. And when I mean trash, I'm talking about the cosmetic, all that money that it came through that university, but the leadership, everything rests and lies on leadership. The leadership has taken advantage of the people that entrusted them with that money every time. Just like Morris Brown lost his accreditation because the black leadership, the money. Clark Atlanta, same thing.
They had them sleeping out. The students were sleeping outside in Clark University.
Sleeping outside, bro.
And it was like they were just twiddling their fingers. It was like they wasn't even trying to hurry up and get them in there.
Bro. It's embarrassed. And then you got Spelman. You know, Spelman actually is named after Rockefeller's wife. You see what I'm saying? Most of these HBCUs names are behind white people, bruh. And we call them HBCUs. Because back in the day, black folks didn't have the money to start no college. It was the white folks that started these colleges, bro. And that's just real talk. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that. So when you walking around and say, well, I'm a product of Morehouse, do your research on Morehouse. When you say you're a product of Spelman, do your research on Spelman. Now, I will admit that the women that come out of Spelman, they are very business-minded. They're about their business, etc. But I'm with you about economic empowerment, bro. All that money didn't come through Spelman. All that money didn't come through Morehouse. Now, Morehouse School of Medicine, they doing some renovation down there. You know, they upgrading they, medical facility to compete with some of the big houses. And Morehouse School of Medicine is a great medical school. But I'm with you, bro. It's no way in the world that Morehouse should not have brought up all that property over there. Spelman, I mean, just everyone, bro. And when you go on the campus of Morehouse, bro, it is, man, I'm trying to come up with a word. It's
You said
lame.
you said it's trash. Let me tell you something, man. Morehouse and Spelman should have got together and bought the West End Mall. It shouldn't have been this dilapidated and trash all these years, man. You know what I'm saying? Majority of y'all students walk up there, and that's the only quality of life they got within
Patronize.
the area, man. And y'all did not come together and buy the West End Mall. Do you know how much government assistance they would have got? All the alumni would have supported. Like, you got so many people that would have supported that um effort, and then you could have gave more jobs to your college students had you put the money in the community and upgraded things, man. But they just, and that's a subject that most people from Morehouse and Spelman will have one-on-one, but in a public platform, they will not call their school out. They will not dare them to be better, man. And that's the reality when it comes to our people, man. And that's why I say, man, the fight just be so
Man,
much.
you ain't got to tell us, man. I mean, because, bro, we dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to do something for the kids, but yet we dealing with folks who feel like they entitled. Oh, I'm in this position and I have this type of power over you. But, bruh, it was a sacrifice, bruh. It reminds me of the book that you told me to read. I read it 3 times. The Miseducation of a Negro by Carter G. Woodson. The same thing that this man wrote in the book, like almost 100 years ago, it's a reality today. It's on autopilot. You see what I'm saying? You don't even have to tell nobody, hey man, you need to do this or else you need to do that. You don't. They already just lined up. Just go sit at the back of the door. Hey, what you doing? Y'all, what you doing? What's going on?
Nothing.
So anyway, man, like I'm totally in compliance with what you saying, man. And I also would like to just piggyback on something too. How these black ministers and preachers have violated our community. They have raped the pockets of the black people, bro. All the hundreds of millions of dollars that have come through the black churches, and you still don't own none. You still paying a mortgage note on the property and the building that you own. And you talking about let's do fish fry and all this, and the only thing you can do is do a food drive, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And that boy over there talking about taking the Lord's property and growing grass, you can't be in your word talking like that, bro. That's foolish talk. And we are some of the most vulnerable people in the community of black folks, bro. We won't read, we won't study, but we always following these charismatic leaders who talk good and look good and all that other type stuff, man. Just straight cap, bro. And I'm tired of seeing it, bro. And I'm tired of you black folks thinking that it was your degree that got you in this position. No, it wasn't. It was the people that came behind us who got bit up by dogs, hosed down by water, hanging from trees, and it wasn't too long ago. It ain't even been over 100 years yet. It ain't even been 100 years, man. And man, you black men in the community, y'all don't have no backbone. You got a gristle. And I said it again. You ain't got a backbone. You got a gristle, bruh. You feel what I'm saying? Our women going crazy. No one want to step up because they scared to say something because they think they gonna lose it. Man, you don't own nothing anyway, bruh. Because when you die, they gonna take away either that or your family gonna got dog on me fight over it. You feel what I'm saying? And the little job that you think you holding to, that is not job security, bruh. It's not. You gotta be willing to take a stand, bro, and stand up for something. But it's an old saying that I was reading in the scripture that said, hey man, if you fall for anything, you'll lose everything. But if you stand up for something, bro, you'll be attacked by your own kind.
That's the, hey man, that's the straight up truth, man. It's like when our brother Christ roamed the earth, he had to fight against the old preachers, man. he wasn't doing that, but fighting against this, you know what I'm saying, the same folk we fighting against, man. The Pharisees and the Sadducees wanted to, you know what I'm saying, wanted to control the people and
Amen.
wanted to charge the people for the Sabbath and wanted to do all this type of stuff. Same fight, man. You know what I'm saying? We just fighting the same fight of the old, man. And it's just, I count it all joy, brother and sister. That's why I take me vacation. I get gone 5, 7 days to recharge up because I ask God, if you want me out here fighting this fight, man, and dealing with all this, then you got to give me some balance in life because I'm not trying to be stressed and dying. I have to get massages, y'all, um, once a week. I have to get a massage once a week because I be so tense and so tight, man. Because my body, it carries the stress and the tension internally. So, man, I have to have like he have to bless me to make money a certain way because I have to get massages. You know what I'm saying? I have to go on vacation to get away and just get peace because it's a lot, man. I'm fighting the city, the county, the school board, the community trying to get they man, it be a lot, man. Like I come home sometimes, I just be like, man, like, it be a lot, man. So I do, to be honest with you, bro, when I be hearing from you, whether it's via text, your energy been the same since 2009. It's always uplifting and positive. But to be honest with you, bro, little do you know, man, people be needing it. Man, when you out here in the world and you fight, man, you got to have somebody that can recharge you outside of God. You know what I'm saying? You got to have somebody in the flesh that can speak to you. I can send you a text and rejoice you and be like, okay, I'm not out here alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he over there, but all right, God, you got him send me a message to recharge me. Hey, bro, you just never know how much that be needed. Like this for real. Like you say, no cappuccino and no Captain Crunch. Both of them. Like, man, that be needed so much because I be at home sometimes, man, just be down in my spirit. And sometimes, man, that'll reach joke. I can see something on Instagram. I got another friend, he'll send me stuff, and I'll go on YouTube and watch it, man, and it'll reach joke, and I'll be like, all right, man. But man, I be needing that because majority of my friends not spiritual and they can't pour nothing into me except for the worldly stuff. I don't be needing that. I be needing something else to pour into me. So your texts always be right on time. It be uplifting, and then, like, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, God be having you send them voice messages. Them voice messages I be like, okay, okay. I be needing that for real though, man, because hey bro, it can be a lonely fight sometime out here, man. It can be a lonely fight for real. On front line, out here in the city fighting against our mayors and city councilmen and police, it can be a lonely fight, bro.
Well, man, my wife has been correcting me when I say fillers. So she'll touch me, she'll do something to correct that. So I'm trying to talk without saying fillers. But what I would like to say is that we are very honored to have you on the show to talk about those issues that are playing our community. And the top issue that I see is black folks fighting against black folks over resources that they really don't own. You're supposed to be a good steward over those resources and uplift the community. And I just think that oftentimes when black people get into power positions and have access to millions and millions of dollars, they change. They change because they never had that. They change because they don't want to see someone else get to their position. So they guard it tightly, and then they become a very I would say a bad front gatekeeper. I was gonna say slave master, but that's incorrect. I would say a gatekeeper to the resources that can bless those in the community, man. And so, but I also want to say this, Duwon, you are an amazing father, man. Your son, he is, man. Please continue to protect him. He has a godly spirit. He's respectable. You can see pureness in him, bro. And I just love the way that you raising your son, bro. You're an amazing father. Oftentimes, like my wife said, we do not uplift the black man for being good fathers. We always beat them down for not being a good man or not being a good father. So
Or they could be a good man and they're doing the best that they can, or they're doing something, but the mother always has something negative to say because for her, that's not up to her standards. That's not what she would do. That's not what she wanted him to do. Let him do what he needs to do and just say thank you, I appreciate it, because it's like these women just think a man is just automatically supposed to have it. You knew who he was before you even got into the relationship, so put that responsibility on you. And it's like, two, women, like we talked about, women, black women don't want to build with a black man
oh, that's good.
because they have to
That's
already
good.
have it.
That's
And
good.
see, they're really cutting themselves off short, because with building with your husband and building something with your wife, you're going to be going on a journey, and it's going to be a good learning journey because you're going to find out things about yourself. You're going to find new things, and then vice versa with both of them, and learning how to work together, learning how to communicate more, whether it's business or personal. Black people really don't know how to communicate. We just want to have a disgusting attitude. And then, like us women, like I used to be like this. I just have an attitude with Stafford because I'll think something negative, right? And he ain't even do nothing. He ain't do anything. But my way of thinking was off. So he'll be like, "What's wrong?" Nothing. What, nothing? And then he'll say, okay, later on, you're going to end up telling me. And then I'll end up telling him. Like, we hold on to something that you all might have did 10 years ago. I mean, I'm just being real. So I'm not going to tell the book that I'm reading, but I do read my word, and I'm reading some other books. And there's this book that I'm reading now. And I believe in this season of my time, it's really helping my thinking become even stronger, because I was telling my husband, we go to the gym and we work out the different parts of our body. So now, just how I work out in the gym, I have to work more so with my mind and start training my mind and my thought process, because what I think is what I'm going to be. What I think is what's going to become. And I just think if women just take the time and do a self evaluation of themselves and stop always worrying about how big my butt is, and as I said, and showing my camel toe, and acting
Damn,
just
not the camel
just
toe.
disrespectful in front of everybody. Like at the BET Awards, I don't remember the man's name. I don't. But it's this girl named Sexy Red, and Krishan Rock was dancing in front of him disgustingly. They didn't even have any type of mannerism towards themselves or anybody. They just do. The BET Awards was a mess to me.
I ain't
There's
watching.
no class. BET, I didn't watch it. I saw clips. BET Awards had no class. It was ratchet. It was disgusting. And then
It was
let me tell
embarrassing.
you something, and who they were trying to honor. Okay, I'm not even going to say any names. Who they were trying to honor at the BET Awards, and what he has done to these young kids, even though the parents and the guardian needs to take responsibility. How can you honor a man that has been disrespectful to these young girls?
You talking about R. Kelly?
Well, I wasn't going to say his name.
I say a name, R.
Okay.
Kelly.
How can you honor a man like that? Now, look, I get it. Sometimes men do get set up. I get it. I do. I get it. But in my opinion, I don't believe that this thing is a setup, because it's just too much that was already out there in social media land of what he was doing, like with the videos and then who he married. Like, how can you honor this man? You don't honor a man like that. That's my opinion.
Um, he's one of my favorite artists. I don't know him as a man, but I agree because it's too controversial. Whether he did it or not, he shouldn't even be in that space for that to be brought up on. And you don't honor him for the world, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too much out there. You've been arrested. It's too much out there, you know what I'm saying, to be honoring him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You do that years from now. Like it's too soon. I mean, too first, like you said, whether the little girls' parents set him up or whatever, it's still too much to be honoring. It's too much to be honored. So I agree with that. I do think that the brother needs some help because psychologically, if your sister kept you in the house as an 8 or 9 year old boy and was making you perform oral sex on her and was making you having sex with her, this your sister. And then by the time you reach stardom as an artist, you've been trapped so long by her, your mind is still at a teenager state because you never progressed in life because you were hurt and traumatized as a young man. So he only can talk to young girls psychologically. Like his mind don't go to adults. Like he make adult music, but he can't have real conversation with adult women because he's still trapped as that shy little boy that his sister was doing that to. And that's why the brother needs some help because locking him up without getting him help, not not helping him. Like he's damaged to the point. It's like when they say hurt people hurt people. So when he going and mess with young girls, that's who he identify with mentally. As a grown man, age difference. So in his mind, he probably thinking that I'm not much older than her. I can relate to her as opposed to a grown woman his age. He can't relate to a grown woman. He relating to these teenagers. And that's why I think the brother need help, man. And he need help real bad. And the music industry just accepted it for years because of his talent, all the money he was bringing in. And it wasn't until the brother started trying to get his own masters and own everything. That's when all this came about back again because they've been trying it for years. They protected him for years. Now that the brother won his own masters, you know what I'm saying, they come out, all his secrets come out. But the brother need help, man. They shouldn't have awarded him. I didn't watch it, so I don't know if they gave him the award. But I don't agree with it, even though he's my favorite artist, not human being, because I don't know the man, Robert Kelly. But I still agree with what you said, even him being one of my favorite artists, that he shouldn't have been awarded no type of award like that. He shouldn't have been awarded that at all because
It sent the wrong message.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know if he
been,
was awarded. I just think it was like they just honored him. They had this big old thing. Like I said, I did not watch the BT Awards. I just saw the clip. And then they had
okay.
somebody, they had like some people coming down singing his songs, like guys, the women, and then the man, yeah, the women and the men. And then after they did some of his songs, they had somebody standing up on stage, but they didn't show the person's face. So people were actually thinking that was R. Kelly because he did kind of sound like R. Kelly a little bit, but of course it wasn't R. Kelly. And then the man that was up there just started singing some of his songs, but they made it such like this big spectacular thing, like he was just the best. And then I was like, miss me with that
But you
stuff.
got to think about, the new owner of BET. He has no morals and values. He
True.
another rich, wealthy black man, but he has no morals and values. Tyler Perry is not a man that people should be looking up to from a moral standpoint. He might got a bankroll, but this man, he pimping out black actors and actresses and not paying them what they worth. You know what I'm saying? Just putting out poor quality films and TV shows that's not a true representation of black folks. Like he don't care about the black culture as a whole. He's doing it for the laughs and the money. He done built his bankroll up for the laughs and the money. He don't care about real true content, putting true messages in his movies and the people that want to be in his film. But he don't pay people right, man, and don't treat people right.
You know what, Duwon? I want to say, bro, we appreciate you coming on the Stafford Show and speaking truth. Now, some people, it may be uncomfortable. They may have a lot of things to say, but it is what it is, you know. And I rather for someone to come on here and stand on business and knowing you're not going to shy away from what you said. You're going to stand on it. And I appreciate you being transparent because that's the only way that I see how, as a community, we can change is by being transparent. And so, man, before we go, I want to say I love the picture that we use for the introduction for you for the Stafford Show. And that picture right there is very encouraging to me. And the fact that you holding a book in your hand means a lot. That's why I told you to send me that picture because part of being a member of the Stafford Boxing Club mentoring program, our kids must have a public library card because we definitely encourage the kids to read. So that picture that's on the screen is very important and significant for people to look at, and in my humble opinion.
Hey, listen. Also, before we go, man, you should look at that book, man. That's a good book for you and your wife. It's not just a male book. It's called "Step Out on Nothing." It's about a guy. He from Baltimore. It's about that everything that happened to him in his life. Everybody who helped him didn't want nothing from him. You know what I'm saying? And so they just wanted him to pay it forward. And they just did it, you know what I'm saying, because the right thing to do. So that's why he titled the book Step Out on Nothing, because everybody done something for him that was, you know what I'm saying, didn't want nothing back from him. And another book, man, that I want you to read, man, is called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun by Reginald Francis Lewis. That was one of the books that I read when I got in some trouble in Baltimore. He was the first black billionaire. It's called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? Man, book changed my life. I'm talking about changed my entire life, man. And Kingdom Principles by Miles Monroe. Man, that is a great book. If y'all haven't read that, Mr. and Mrs. Stafford, that's a book for y'all together. Like, it's biblically, man, but the wisdom in there aligned with the Bible verses. One of the best books outside of the Bible that I've ever read by Miles Monroe, called Kingdom Principle. That thing there is the, hey, man,
Don't worry
that's
about it. We
We'll
could get,
read.
yeah. Don't worry
We'll
about it.
read.
See. One thing about us, we are building a library. So when we get our custom made house, we have a library built into our home. That's what we're about. Our mindset, like, yeah, we leave some money behind, but we're gonna leave a wealth of books that changed our life and had a significant impact in the way we do things. And so we greatly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and blessing us with your presence. Is there anything that you want to leave with the viewers, sir?
no, man. I would just like to, man, for us to get down one day, man, and break bread and have dinner. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk one day. But the viewers, man, to the women out here, that may be listening, if you're a single mom raising young men, I would say, stay the course. Discipline is good for kids. Don't give up on them, because for young men it take us a little bit longer. Um, if you're not a disciplinary parent, but don't try to be 100% friend. Like, you can love your child and discipline. You just can't be a total friend without discipline, because the world will spank him or her. And just, and I would just tell everybody, man, people say this, man, but in order to keep God first, you got to understand his word. You can't just say it, God is good all the time. You can't just say that. You got to know why he good, and you got to know how good he is and how to keep him being good to you. And that's, man, staying in his word, man, and understanding God. And that's truly who I live by, and the Staffords live by, and I'm sure y'all know them, you listen to them. That's the way that we gotta go, man, because that's the blueprint to the world, is understanding God's word. So I thank you guys, man, and I do look forward, man, to sit down with you guys. It's been since 2009. We have not broke bread and sat down, man. So y'all let me know when we can sit down and break bread. And I honestly thank y'all for the bottom of my heart for considering me that, because I know y'all are funny, peculiar people. Y'all don't fool with everybody. So I appreciate that, because I know y'all don't fool with everybody. So I do appreciate that. I don't take that unlightly further, because that means a lot, because, you know what I'm saying, if you don't fool with everybody, that means you have respect for few. And those that you have respect for, you allow them in your world. So I respect that seriously.
I
For
like
sure,
that.
for sure. Hey man, listen. Uh, we had a different plan today, but we rolled with the Holy Spirit, and that's how we rolled. So we had our own plan, but our plan is not the plan of God, nor the will of God. So it was your time to really take this show to another level, man. We appreciate the content. We definitely believe that it's going to inspire some folks. It's definitely going to shake up some things, and that's what we want to do. We want to shake up things so there can be a change in our community.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone.
Peace.
my tooth.
Baby, hold up. We still on.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we still on a little bit.
Oh, well, I don't think that what we were going to talk about the last 30 minutes, we'll talk about that next week. And just a little preview. It's about the team, the boxers team, the matchmaker and the corner man, and just how important it is to have a good team on your team, people on your team. So we'll definitely talk about that next week.
Yeah, we definitely talk about more boxing events. This past weekend, it was a lot going on in the boxing world. There was some great fights. Like Sheila talked about the importance of the matchmaker. They play a major role in the sport of boxing. I want to give a shout out to Last Bell Boxing. Thank you for tuning in from the UK. We greatly appreciate you guys. And it was truly a blessing just to be able to, share that moment with Dr. Duwon Robinson, Sheila. Like I said, we've been knowing him since 2009. That was like 1 year after we got married. And to see him elevate to this level is truly a blessing. I want to thank Talking Fight for presenting the Stafford Show. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Until then, Stafford Boxing.
The making of champions.